Hi everyone, this is Shailesh Pawar, and today I'm going to talk about entity framework. So most of you guys would have been already be familiar with entity framework. So today in this session, I'm going to unleash some of the basic concepts of entity framework. So entity framework is an ORM tool. ORM stands for Object Relational Mapper. As the name specifies, it maps your class types properties with the database types tables names, table objects, I would say, table columns name. Okay, so let's look at the picture right now over here. Generally in our programming sense, I could say that we have our customer classes models like customer, order, address and store, which has their certain properties, and we have a database RDBMS which has columns like TBL customer, TBL order and TBL address and TBL store. So right now we have been writing SQL queries and firing against the database. How could let's imagine how easy it would be if we can directly interact with the database with the help of our models. So right, as we know that our customer classes doesn't know how to communicate with that database schema table. So in this picture, that's where ORM tool comes into picture. It basically maps your models, or we can say business objects, with our database schema tables objects. So here, with the help of the ORM tool, we can map our customer class with the TBL customer, order class with the TBL order table, address with the TBL address table, and store with TBL store table. So here is a small demonstration. As you can see in the figure, that my customer model is directly interacting with TBL customer table. So that is what a Object Relational Mapper generally does. And in the Microsoft term, what entity framework does it for us? It automatically maps our business objects with the database table. So we don't have to write our frequent SQL queries again and again. So with the help of our Object Relational Mapper, our overhead of writing SQL queries and firing against the database is totally removed. So let's start and try to unleash the power of entity framework and learn how it can remove our overhead of writing SQL queries and how it easily populate all the records into the models. So let's get started and try to implement the entity framework using MVC4. So as we can see, I have opened my Visual Studio, and now I will try and implement entity framework and perform the CRUD operation, where, as you are aware, that CRUD stands for create, read, update and delete. So let's get started. I will name my project as entity framework, entity F, it would be great. Let's get started. It will take a little moment of time. I will just use the MVC4. Right now I'm not using a ASP.NET 5, as it will go beyond the entity framework, because ASP.NET 5 is completely built from scratch and it has a major changes as compared to ASP.NET 4.5. So let's just focus upon entity framework, and we will take ASP.NET 5 in our next upcoming session. Okay, so just click on ASP.MVC4. It takes a little bit amount of time, so please bear with me. Okay, come on, I want it again. Okay, so for designing purposes, I will be using CSS, Bootstrap, I would say. Bootstrap is a CSS library which helps us to make an interactive web pages, or UI, I would say. So I'm just going to get to that, and I will just make a form tag from over here, forms, you can say, and I will just take it as an input for me. Okay, come on. It's taking a huge amount of time, guys. My laptop is sucking now. It is. Maybe I will update it now. Upgrade it. I was sorry, update it. Come on. Let's do it. Come on. I would pause it for a while. Okay, so finally it has opened. So now, as you are totally aware of the MVC, MVC is basically an architectural pattern where MVC means model, view and controller. In this session we are not going to go in deep with the MVC architecture pattern because we will be focusing towards entity framework. Let's start first of all creating a model. We would be creating a simple application using entity framework, inserting that customer information to the database and retrieving those and updating and deleting the same. Let's create a customer model. Add class. Models are basically business objects over here, so we can known as it's a simple class. So I will just type in customer.cs. Okay. So here I will be writing down all the properties related to customer, public class customer, and prop. Oh, come on, correct. Yep. Okay. Int ID name and but it would be address. I will just copy from my name the address. I think these are enough. No? Okay. So we have our ready. Our customer object is ready with us. So now I would be creating a customer controller. Add a customer controller, ASP.empty controller. We can use a pre-scaffolding for entity framework also, but I'm not getting over it. I will be creating an application from scratch because it will be helpful for all of us because we will be doing some hard work, not an easy default template given by Microsoft. Okay, come on. It's cutting. Okay, so as you can see, this is my index method. So I will be creating an first of all our view. Okay, there is add view nowadays. It is not add view. We would be getting a model name as I need a model. The model will be a customer. Okay. I want to use a layout port. Yes, and these are in shared folder. Got it. Use it and add it. Okay. As you can see, I would be creating a simple form which I will copy from this bootstrap getbootstrap.com.css. It's a beautiful library. Bootstrap can make your web pages to awesome experience. So I would recommend you to use Bootstrap. Okay, come on. Okay, it is done. I will remove these. All these default. All these things. We will building this from scratch. Model. I will just copy down this form tags over here. Drop your, as we are using Bootstrap, so I will have to add a library over there. I will just drop and down a library. There's my script tagging, scripts. Yeah, and this is the bootstrap.manager.js. Drop. So we have as customer name. Customer name. I just added that customer name. Okay. It will be of text type. Quit. ID will be txt customer. Placeholder. Enter your customer name. enter your name, I would say. And yeah, for the binding purposes I will just name it same as a customer class name. Name. Oops. Name. And here it will be example input address customer address. Okay. txt customer name is equal to what is written over there, address. Oops, cut it. Oops, okay. So now I'm gonna remove this part. And use this class in button. I would use it at danger. You will see the differences. Let's see. Even Microsoft Visual Studio has that now. Its class type also known. So you will love it when it will open. That what the dangers look like. So I'm using a type. Okay, submit. Now in ASP, here I will write the action name. It is post. Nope. It is method. Here I will write the controller name I want to it. It is customer slash create. Okay, and the method would be post. Over here I will just return an index view which will when our application will run, it will automatically execute this action result and it will return the view name as index. So you can see in this view folder, okay, this the customer folder, there is an index view which will be fired once a hit comes over index action result method. So when this user inserts some information and wants to do a HTTP post, or what I would say, he want to insert his information to the database, we will create an action result, name as create, and we will give it as HTTP post. Okay, and here we will just take our models using entity framework models. Oh, sorry. Oops. Oh, horrible! I'm horrible at typing right now. And right now here I will use my customer object. Now what I have to do? We have to now use entity framework to insert our details to the database. So now I'm gonna create a class, entity framework class I would say, which will be dealing or which will be mapping our customer class properties with the table of our database. So I'm gonna first of all create a model name as dal.cs, okay, and public class dal, and it will inherit from db context control dot, and it will use system.data.entity. Correct. With the db context, when we inherit, it is usually giving a class setup of db context, which will allow the behavior of db context to be used by dal class, which will help dal class to communicate with our database. So in this I have to create a db set which contains the glue between our classes, business objects and our database. So I will just create public db set and name of our business object customer and its name customer, and add set. Okay. Now where is our database? So I'm gonna get a sample database I'm gonna use a demo. We can create an we can oftenly use other approaches of an entity framework known as wizard approach, doing a data entity model. But right now we will be focusing upon the code first approach, where we have a strongly control over our business objects. We have to create our business object from the scratch level, and we will be pointing towards a self already made database. Okay, so I'm just creating one table. In, first I will create one database. I'll just name it as entity sample. Oh, come on. This is also taking a huge amount of time. Entity sample. Now I will create entity sample. Here you go. NET samples. Oh, let it be now. I will just get a new table, and its name will be customer, I would say. Oh, come on. First one would be ID. We will name it as primary key and integer. Oh, integer. Our name varchar 50. It's 150 hours. 150 is enough now, is okay. 150. One address. Again varchar 150. Okay, we're done. Now save and name it as customer. So we have a table created, tbo.customer, which is present in entity.sample. So right now entity framework should be known about a database which we are pointing to. So to tell entity framework that this is our database, we need to add the database connection string. So from here I will add a data connection which I will point toward NET sample. So here I am using my local server. Come on. Dot. And here all the database will be populated, you can see, and it is entity sample. I will just test the connection. Oops, it's great. Okay. Now I will just right click on the data connection that will be added. You can see now. Come on. Right click, properties. Oh, data connection settings. Great feature, I would say. And now in web.config, I will just add on my connection strings. Oh, it is already there. I will just exchange or remove these, add my connection string. And please note, this should be there, system.data.sql client. I want to make you, or I would say just note it down on pen or pencil, that entity framework internally uses edu.net. So you can see that we are using provider name as system.data.sql client. And make sure that here the name of your connection string should be same as the name of your DB context class that I have named as DAL. Okay, so now it has been done. Now we will just override on model. Okay, override on model creating DB context, and we will point our DB set with the table name. So model binder. Model binder basically binds our data objects, customer classes objects with our database. So model binders dot entity our customer to table, and the table name, it is customer. Okay, got it. Mapping with the customer table. Glue code. Got it. So it is done. We have mapped, telling our DL class that this is our customer model, which will be mapped towards that, to this customer. So I will just create a constructor over here, and we will be using CTOR for constructor, and it is over there. I will just write private, what is the name of our class? DAL. add context, context, and over here I will be creating an object of val context is equal to, nope, I will just write it out, context. I will pass it a context object val and assign context over here, so that we don't have to create unnecessary objects of a data access layer, which I mean to say DB context. So here now if user will enter its name and address, here in this we will just get all information regarding the customer. Now we have to insert into the database. So we have our context object, which we have already created, or we will say open over here. So we will just say context dot, or you can see customer is over here already. So customer dot add means adding the customer information in memory, not into the database. So I will be adding that customer object which I have with me, which contains all the information related to customer, that which I have to insert into the database. So now when I say save changes, it will save that customer information into the database. So once it is done, I will return to some other action, I would say. So once the data get inserted, or the customer records get inserted into the database, we will be moving towards the view which will contain all the records fetched from the database. So I have already created a view which will display our customer information retrieved from the table. So I have created a new view known as show. As you can see over here, it has a simple adding all list of customer, which has customer ID, customer name, customer address. To make sure that you understand this, I have using an entity models and IEnumerable of customer types. So here all the customer information will be appeared in the model, because I'm only sending a entity IEnumerable customer, so I can use this model. Else I would have used that models dot other properties. But I am looping towards a strongly typed customer business object known as cust, and it will be displaying me all the properties which I want to be displayed to the user. And I have here a URL.content. Once the user clicks on this URL, he will be shifted again to the customer.index page. So now after the context of save changes happen, I will just say return to action, redirect to action, and my action name would be show. And this show will display all the information. Okay, so I have to create a customer list of customer class, list of customers is equal to new list of customers, and return this customer is equal to context dot customer dot to list, retrieve it from customer, retrieve from database, type of customer dot to list, and return a view name as show. Okay, so now let's use our feature and add a link into the home page, home.index, to our business, to our new customer object. Oh, where it is? Come on. Manage. Shared. Layout. Okay, yeah, layout. I'll just add it over here. Copy this HTML.action link. I will just say at customer This is my matter name. What is my matter name? Matter name is my index, and this is my controller name. Customer control name is customer. Okay, so let's get started. I will just run that web configuration over there, and this is so. Let's see what happens. Oh. Come on, man. So here we have our web page, our default web page for ASP.NET MVC. So we can see our URL, not URL, it's a link for add customer. I will just click on add customer. Oh, there is an error called no parameter like constructor defined for this object. So basically this error comes when MVC doesn't know what to pass into the controller. So we have added as in controller there's DAL object to be called as a constructor. Whenever this customer, whenever the request will be entered into this controller, this will be invoked. For to inject this object of our DAL, we have to use dependency injection. So in order to do that, we have to add one package known as Unity. So I will go to solution, add manage NuGet packages, click on Unity. Okay, and I would install Unity and MVC. Unity, not Unit. Okay, here we are. We have to install this two packages, unit and unit.mvc4, as we are using MVC4 right now. So it will take a slight moment of time. Okay, I accept this. Okay, it has been installed now. Now we will just go to our, what's going on? Okay, it is finished. Now yes, we have to make the changes. Okay, yes to all. Now we will install our unity.mvc. So here we are. I will just click on add customer now. Oh, now we can see that customer form has been appeared. Now we can input our record or information regarding the customer which we want to be saved into the database. So I will just write down my name, Shailesh Pawar, and I live in Mumbai, and click on submit. In order to check that the hit is going on to the controller, I have already set a breakpoint into the create controller. I just click on submit. Oh, we can see now the hit comes into the controller, and all the information that is regarding the customer, that is name and address, should be binded with the customer. Oh, we can see that Mumbai, the address and name has been already been binded with this object. So here we are. We can see our add customer link. So I will just click on add customer link and try again to insert my information. Oh, this password is still there. Just assume to ignore this right now. Okay, my address is, I live in Mumbai. Simple. Click on submit. Oh, now I can see again that all the information has been in the customer object, and I will try to insert this information to the database. So here we go. Come on. Now this will make the persistent changes into the database. Now Now this line will, after the save changes has been done into the database, we are moving towards a new action method called as show. So now the call will be moved to show method. You can see now here we can see that I am creating a list of customer, and now I am using a link queue query to retrieve all the record from the customer class to the customer object. So right now here I want you to look into that one figure, what actually happens and how the data from the database is retrieved by using an entity framework. So here's a diagram. Okay, not this one. So this is it. So how entity framework really works? Basically, whenever we want some information to be retrieved from or extracted from the database, we write a link queue query to our entities, means models. As we can see, as I was doing earlier on, I was writing a link queue query to my customer model. So when we write a link queue query to a customer model, these queries converted to a SQL query. Means, as I said earlier, that entity framework internally uses ADO.NET. So this link queue query will be converted to the SQL query and will be fired against the database. The output result means the records extracted from the database will be mapped with the model and will result come to that object. So right now we will fire this will fire a link queue query, which will be like a select command, and the information used. See, you can see in the context also that it is extracting, it is writing a query like select ID as ID and name as name, and will fire this query to the database. Now when I move ahead, I will see that customer will be filled with a customer count, and I can see it has retrieved information. My ID is 3, my name Shailesh Pawar, and address is Mumbai 5. Now this will be returned to that show view which I have written to display all the information of the user which has been inserted or present into the database. So as we move ahead, we will see that the information regarding Shailesh. Okay, you can see that my ID is customer 3, which has been generated by the database. I have used ID property as an identity, and my customer name is Shailesh and customer address is Mumbai. So now right now we have done an insert, means we have created a new customer to the database. Now we will try to, first of all, I want to make a point towards the context class which I talked about. This context class generally, dial class, this context class generally makes a session with the database, and it allows us to query inside an instance of our object, means that object which we want to retrieve. Model, like here I was trying for customers model. So this context is basically a session. Okay, now I will try for our edit, for performing an edit operation. Yeah, now in order to perform our edit operation, we need to create a view for that. So let's create a view. In our show view, we need to add 2 links over there which will perform our edit operation. So I have created one code for that, and I will just copy paste. I'm just using action link, and it will display our edit. It will call an action method called edit, and the controller name is customer, and we will pass a customer ID to it, which will be passed to a link, action method, I would say, not action link, and same would be in case of delete. So now we will create one edit action method in our controller. I will just remove these breakpoints now, delete, and for I will just create one controller, action method, action result, and name it as edit, and here I am passing that ID. Now int id. Now from this id which I will be passed, we will just retrieve this id from the database and will pass the information to another view where user can edit the same. So okay, we will do like this: customer class customer is equal to new customer. Now in customer, I'm gonna retrieve the information of the customer whose ID is this, which has been passed from that URL link. Okay, I will use my context data object dot customer dot where. This is a linky query I'm applying. This is lambda expression a dot id is equal to id which has been passed dot single. It is type of customer. Okay, this query will return me a single customer which has been passed from you. Now I will return this customer to an action, return to view. I have to create an edit view where I will pass this customer information. Okay, now we are gonna create one more view name as edit, and this will be a strongly type of customer class because we will be displaying customer information which we are retrieving from this. So we will create a temp create and model class will be customer. Okay, now we're going to save this. It will take some time, so please wait. Oh, the semicolon has been left. Okay, the scaffolding has been done. Once one thing is still not the semicolon. So now here I will copy the code of our index page which we have already been written, and now here I will paste this and add it. Remove these lines. Added is the page. Model dot id. I'm not passing the model dot id. I will just be passing the names which you want to change and the customer address. At the value, it will be automatically populate from the model dot address, and here I will click one button where all the information will be gone, will be saved. So now in order to update the customer information, I'm gonna pass the customer ID also and display to the user. So I'm gonna add that customer ID over here, and I will just pass the ID and the model will appear that ID. Okay, now once this information has been edited by the user, we have to save this updated information. So I have just created that. We have to create one save action result, public action result to save, and it will pass customer. Now in order to get the old information, we will first retrieve the old customer which has been saved in that. So cust is equal to context, not content, it is context dot customer dot where cust, no, not we can use c dot id is equal to which has been passed from the customer object dot customer dot single equal to the single type of customer. Now this information has been come. Now we have to update this information. For that I will just say customer dot name is equal to which has been passed from the customer object, customer dot name, cust dot address is equal to customer dot address and I will just say context dot save changes. Same I'm going to do for HTTP post, and same we are going to do for delete also. And in order to do that, I will just say return to action. Redirect to action. What is our action name? It is show. And the same we will create an HTTP post. So in order to delete this customer information, I will first of all gather the information of a customer which I want to delete. So I will just create a new customer and get the information regarding this customer. Obj context dot customer dot where c dot id is equal to id dot single type of customer. This linky query will return back me the customer information whose id is the id which we have passed from the control, which we have passed into the controller. So now from context.customer.remove, we have to remove this customer, and the same we will just say save changes. Now this will delete that customer from the database. Now we have to return to the same action method, action view, show, action method show. Now let's put some breakpoints because we have make some huge changes. So I will just insert one breakpoint over here. Insert, debug, start toggle lock breakpoint, new breakpoint over here, and one more in add dot will insert. I will just close all the windows because we are not dealing with other windows as well. So I will just put them in rather points. Layout is not useful. Output, package manager console. Yeah, edit is there. So I will just once again we will just start our application and see what's going around now. So we can see our customer information in our view. So now we are gonna edit this customer name Shailesh Pawar. I'm just gonna click on edit. All the information will be our action method edit has been hit, and the ID name 3 has been passed. So now we have created a customer object which will contain the information of the customer which has ID 3. So now it will contain the customer information, as we can see. Now it will be written to edit view with this customer object. We have written the same, and you can see now it's waiting for that page to be getting loaded. Oh, here it is. So now I'm going to change the customer name to Virender and customer address to Dehradun. I'm going to click submit, and it will hit this customer object, and now this customer details will be saved based upon these customer ID. So first of all we will retrieve the old customer information from the context object of DB class DAL. As we move ahead, you can see that it will contain all the old information and will update the information with new customer name as Virender Pawar and address as Dehradun. Now I will make the save changes, and as soon as the save changes will be made, we will redirect again to our action show. So now you can see that Virender Pawar, Shailesh Pawar has been updated to Virender Pawar, and customer address Mumbai has been updated to Dehradun. So you can see how flexible it was to perform an edit operation. Now we will apply a delete operation. As soon as I click on delete, oh, delete is not found. Let's see what happens. Just go to delete. Oh, actually, whenever the HTML action link is performs, which we have done, actually it performs a get request. So here over we have not written any get request for the same. So for the same, I will just write it down, a get request public dot action result delete, and we pass an ID to me. Sorry, my instances, and I will just again select this, and I will create a new view called delete, and finding references. It's taking too much time. Add view, name it a delete, create template, and it will be of type customer. And use a layout page same as it is. Now here also we will just display the information into the view as we are doing an edit, and we will just give a confirmation heading over there that do you want to delete this customer or not, and we will just give the link to, if he or she doesn't want to delete that information, he and she can just go back to that URL, that edit URL, or to the show URL. We will just delete the information, that scaffold information again. We can use them, but I'm just trying to do it from scratch, as I told you earlier. And just copy that and edit. And over here, I will just return out and H2. Are you sure? Sure. Do you want to delete this customer? And the same, and here now in order for deletion I would just say delete. Okay, submit, delete, and I will just put one action link over here. Back to list to index page. It's good, it's already over there, and we are going to index page. It's fine, perfectly fine. So now let's try to delete this customer which we are trying to do. So I will just again start my page from customer/show view. I will click on run, and let's see how it's gonna work. Oh, error, I love it. Let's see. Now it's saying, let's debug again. Let's just say that already defines a number called delete for the same type. Okay, now we have to hit over here http get for the same, because we are performing get operation. Http get, now recompile, rebuild, and we'll see. Oops, it's again saying the same thing. Are we passing the same parameters? Oh, we are here. We will perform a customer object. Now it is perfect. Customer dot id. Perfect. Now we can Google the solution. Now let's see, it compiles or not. I hope it will compile. Yeah, bing, 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 bing. Oh, whoops, done it. Now again, run it. Now we can see. So now I'm gonna add customer, and now I'm gonna add a new customer for the same. So let's see. I'm gonna add Nishant and Pune. This will, now we will have two. Once one we have updated, and there will be a new customer name and Nishant. Okay, we can see now. Now I'm gonna perform the delete operation. So now I'm going to delete this within the Pawar from this list. Yes, I will click delete. Okay, see. Now the get operation would have performed this get operation. Resume this. I don't want to do. I will back to list. I will have to insert one more customer. Sorry for that. And now I'm gonna add Shashank, Ankit, Negi. Address there again. We have two customers now. Now I'm gonna add delete Ankit from this list. So now perform a delete operation. So now you can see that HTTP get has been performed, and with ID 11. Now the same will be done. The customer information with ID will be extracted from that model, and it will be retrieved Ankit. And now this will return a view called delete, and will pass the model which has Dehradun and Ankit with them. So I pass it to delete. So you can see that I have a customer ID 11, customer name Ankit, and if I want to delete, I want to delete this, I will just click on delete, and it will be HTTP post now, and now all the information with this will be shown. And now once again I will retrieve all the information of that ID and into this cust object, and this will be removed from our context model, and these changes will be done into the database. And now again I will just switch back to the show page. Oh, now see, we have already deleted that Ankit. Isn't it amazing? Now here we have done our delete operation, update operation, and create operation, and read operation as well. So here I want to conclude